Hello all you lovely people of the internet, what is up? My name is LashofSnow, and today we dive into some of the main city lore in World of Warcraft. The reasoning behind this, I have been requested to do some more exploration lore type videos, so I thought I would start with the main cities of the lands in HORDE. So as I'm a HORDE player, I will begin with Orgrimmar. Okay, so starting with Orgrimmar, I will read a little blurb from the WoW Vanilla game manual. Named in honor of the legendary Orgrim Doomhammer, Orgrim was founded as a capital city of the Orcs' new homeland. Built within a huge winding canyon in the harsh land of Durotar, Orgrimmar stands as one of the mightiest warrior cities in the world. Behind Orgrimmar's immense walls, elderly shaman pass their knowledge on to the Horde's newest generation of leaders, while warriors spar in the gladiatorial area, honing their skills in preparation for trials that await them in this dangerous land. So, I had a few thoughts on how to actually approach this, so I thought I would just start at the beginning and give a brief lore overview of the city itself. At the beginning of the Third War, War Chief Thrall received a vision from a strange prophet, foretelling the return of the Burning Legion, and that the best hope for his people was to travel west to the forgotten lands of Kalimdor. Along their travels, the war chief and his people came across the trolls of the Darkspear tribe, who were locked in a civil war with the Gurabashi tribe, who threatened to eliminate the Darkspear way of life. After the Horde aided the Darkspear in their battles, they chose to swear their allegiance to the Horde and travelled west to Kalimdor. Arriving on the new lands, the Horde was soon caught between a battle being waged by the native Tauren race and the violent Centaurs. After Thrall met with the Tauren leader, Cairn Bloodhoof, he chose to aid the Tauren in their hour of need, which would later lead to the Tauren joining the Horde. Deciding to settle in the barren red wasteland of Durotar, which was named after Thrall's chieftain father, Durotan, Thrall chose this place specifically as an area that was tough to grow crops and was tough to survive in. The reasoning behind choosing these harsh lands to settle was to pay penance for the Orcs' previous destruction and bloodshed on the Eastern Kingdoms and Draenor. I should say that Draenor was originally the Orcs' homeland, and they kind of dove through the portal after all kinds of shenanigans went on. But we will get into that and the First and Second Wars and things in future videos. So the city of Orgrimmar itself is split into 5-ish zones. The Valley of Strength, the Valley of Spirits, the Valley of Wisdom, the Valley of Honor, and the Cleft of Shadow. Upon arriving into the city via the front gate, you enter into the Valley of Strength, which houses the faction leader's headquarters in Grommash Hold, currently home to War Chief Vol'jin of the Darkspear tribe, the great troll Shadowhunter. The towering structure of Grommash Hold stands tall amongst the auction houses, inns, and other miscellaneous vendors, named after famed orc Grommash Hellscream. Grom was the orc who first drank the demon blood of Manaroth, which enslaved the orcish race to the Burning Legion, but was also the one who defeated Manaroth to free his people from enslavement. Related to the city of Orgrimmar, there is a monument to Grom Hellscream deep within the Ashenvale forest, to the northwest of Durotar. Put there by Thrall himself, it lies in the site where Grom gave his life to free his race. In many ways, the curse of our people began and ended with Grom. His name meant Giant's Heart in our ancient tongue. He earned that name 100-fold as he stood alone before the demon Manaroth and won our freedom with his blood. LOK'TAR OGAR, big brother. May the war song never fade. During its time, as the capital city for the Horde, Orgrimmar has undergone a few changes. During the Cataclysm, the city was given defensive upgrades due to its increased dragon threat from Deathwing and the Black Dragonflight. It was around this time Thrall took it upon himself to answer nature's call and travelled to Nagrand in the broken world of Outland. Here he learned new shamanistic ways to help combat the elemental disasters that were caused by the Cataclysm. Having to leave the mantle of War Chief for the greater good, he chose Grom's son Garrosh Hellscream to become the new leader of the Horde. And if you know your lore, you know where this goes. The Valley of the Spirits is home to the ethereal and spiritual studies within the Horde, and is also where the trolls and goblins call home within the city. The Valley of Wisdom used to house the Warchief in the early days before Garrosh took command and built HORDE in the centre of the Valley of Strength to show new visitors who was in control. The Cleft of Shadow lies underneath the city and is known as the area for the Less Than Desirables. This is where the Warlocks, Rogues and Mages hang out. Also in this zone is a portal to the Hellfire Peninsula in Outland and the entrance to the low-level dungeon Ragefire Chasm. The Valley of Honor is the location for all things warfare-based. It houses various arms vendors, hunter and warrior trainers, the Ring of Valor, warrior guilds and blacksmithing, jewel crafting and mining trainers. This part of the city also leads into Jara. When Warchief Garrosh took over, he immediately started to make his mark on the Horde and all of its races. For example, he didn't trust the Banshee Queen Sylvanas and her forsaken race of undead. He and Vol'jin never seen eye to eye, as Vol'jin didn't agree with many of the new Warchief's policies. This started to fester and began to drive a wedge between the Horde's factions. By the time Mists of Pandaria rolled around, Garrosh's need for power and supremacy began to get out of hand. Examples of Garrosh's lust for power included the bombing of Theramore Isle, which was the last human bastion of the survivors of Lordaeron. Using a mana bomb built by the goblins, it caused utter destruction of the city and pushed Jaina Proudmoore to the brink of insanity, who then threatened to destroy Orgrimmar with a giant tidal wave. Only the words of Thrall and the blue dragon aspect, Kalagos, prevented this. During this time, Garrosh's desire had also brought him into conflict with the other factions within the Horde. He slowly began to see the Orcs as the only true members of the true Horde. His actions included such things as removal of all non-Orcs from Orgrimmar, the death of Cairn Bloodhoof. I should explain. Cairn Bloodhoof challenged Garrosh to a duel almost to the death, and they accepted, and they were battling, and Garrosh swung his axe, caught Cairn. It was fine because it was just a little nick, but he ended up dying because Garrosh's blade had been poisoned by a rival faction of Torn known as the Grim Totems. So that is the reasoning behind Cairn Bloodhoof's death. It also involved a movement into Ashenvale to cut down the trees that were essential for Horde business. This all led up to the Vale of Eternal Blossoms in Pandaria, when Garrosh found out about an ancient artifact that lay on an underground temple. This artifact was known as the Heart of Yasharaj, the heart of an old god, and would bestow upon him immense power to crush his enemies and secure the true Horde's right to rule. However, this power only increased his already unstable mentality, which caused a civil war within the Horde and led to his attempted assassination of Vol'jin. Due to his increased madness, it forced the alliance in the Horde factions to take action, thus leading to the siege of Orgrimmar itself, and the agreed opinion to finally rid the world of Garrosh Hellscream. Despite Orgrimmar's strong walls and stout defences, the allied forces finally broke through Garrosh's army, destroyed the Heart and arrested Garrosh for all his war crimes. After this, Thrall and the other Horde leaders agreed that due to Vol'jin's selfless actions and in keeping the Horde together, that he should become the new Warchief.
But it was you that held the Horde together during this madness. It was you that protected our honor. From this day forward, Vol'jin, if you lead, I will follow.
I am not worthy. But I will give my all for the Horde.
Under Vol'jin's rule, he opened the gates to the other races of the Horde once again. He agreed to ceasefire with the Alliance and began to rebuild all of Garrosh's damage. So there we have it. A brief, very brief, little lore blurb of my capital city as a Horde member, Orgrimmar. If you like this, don't forget to leave me a like. Comment below if you would like to see more. My next lore video will be for Stormwind, the Alliance headquarters. So, as I said, if you like it, comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.